And that premise was around understanding that a lot of what we attribute to being mental emotional challenges are oftentimes rooted in the physical. And in particular, there's a strong connection between the health of our gut and the health of our brain. So that fascinated me early on into my practice, because I found that by doing some of that foundational work of helping to, I always call your gut as a garden, and I talk about how important it is to weed your garden and to fertilize your flowers. And just doing that root cause work significantly impacted how people felt in their brains. And so years later, I started to realize that some of those foundational teachings were also applicable to women going through hormonal changes. And I started to develop a framework for women going through hormonal changes. And thus my second book was written on menopause, which is just in its final edit, and hopefully will be in print by the first of the new year. So really, it's about, honestly, I try and keep my information very practical, because there's a lot of information that's really overwhelming for women. And if you're struggling to get through your day, and then you have a big, thick book to read to try and figure out how to apply this to your busy life, it doesn't often translate into results.
That's great. And I remember when we first chatted that you said also that there's a chapter in there for men to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, this really excites me, because I, early into the promotion of my book on menopause, I would be, standing in a group of people, and I would talk about this book on menopause. And if there were any men in that group, they would say to me, "Have you got a book for me? Because I don't know the first thing about this." And they're either concerned about it, their partners may be, getting ready to go into menopause, or is in menopause, or has gone through it. And it really can be a really overwhelming and kind of a scary thing for men, because they've seen the memes, they've, heard the horror stories about, and it really doesn't serve